an inequality has a less than, a greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to sign. So, like we did in bell work, when it says on the board, x is less than, that means that instead of an equal sign, there's going to be a symbol there. Okay? And inequalities can also be graphed on number lines, and we're going to do that today. So the first thing we need to talk about is our essential question. So before we talk about how to graph, let's do our essential question. Our essential question is at the top of the paper there, and it says, it's blank. So can you please write in, what is an inequality? Okay, so we've got how to graph. There's a lot that's involved in inequalities. Some of the things that are involved in inequalities are the symbols, obviously. So there's a bunch we need to make sure that we memorize. So here they are. Okay. This symbol right there, it looks like an L. So you can actually make an L with your finger. It's less than. So the symbol makes an L. So that's a way to know that it's less than. You can put this in the margin. You can put this right where it says how to graph. Either one is fine. And then, if it had a line underneath it, what would that be? Anyone? Someone louder? Less than or equal to. Yep. Okay. Next. The other direction. Actually, you can make a G out of it. Here's some things that people have showed me today. Here's the symbol. I could do like a G like this. Kind of looks like a G, right? I could do like a G that opens that direction. I could do like a G like that. The point is, less than makes an L. G goes in the opposite direction, you know. But the one thing that we need to know is that the less than makes an L. So here we go. Greater than. And then what if it had a line underneath it? What does that mean? Perfect. Greater than or equal to. Good. Now, the how to graph part is really vital that you got that today. So if I have a less than or a greater than on my number line when I graph, I need to make it an open circle on the number line. Okay, let's do an example. X is less than 4. So I'm going to make a line. Here's the things I care about. I care that you have the 0 marked somewhere, and then the 4. I don't need you to put the little hash marks in between. So now we just talked about that the 4 is where I'm going to put either an open circle or a closed circle, and in red it says X is less than 4. So that's going to be an open circle at 4. Now, which direction does less than go? Less. Left. To the left, to the left. You guys like that song? To the left, to the left. So make your arrow. Or maybe you like to do it like this. Or maybe you like to shade. It doesn't matter to me how you make your number line and your shading. It matters to me that you go the right direction. And it matters to me that If it's open, it's supposed to be open. If it's closed, it's supposed to be closed. An open circle means that 4 is not included in my answer. Anything less than 4 is a 3, a 2, a 1, a 0, a -1, a -2. But 4 is not. Okay, let's now talk about if I have a less than sign with a line underneath it or greater than symbol with a line underneath it. It's not going to be an open circle. It's going to be a closed circle on my graph. It's a closed circle on your number line. So let me make up something. How about x is greater than or equal to 4? I'll do that. Okay, so you make your number line. It has a line underneath it, which means it's going to be a solid circle, a closed circle. So you got to make your 0, and you got to make your 4. And greater than or equal to. So closed circle at 4. Make a solid closed circle. This means that 4 is included in my answer. 4 and anything greater, because it says greater than. Which direction does greater than go?
To the right.
To the right. Greater, larger, more than, higher, above. To the right. There we go. 4 is included in my answer, and anything higher than it, 4, 5, 6, or 7, or 8, all those numbers would be good. Now, I didn't even know the difference between less than and greater than until I was in high school. And here's why. Because my teachers would just say to me, the alligator eats the bigger number. Do you remember hearing that from your teachers?
Yeah.
The alligator eats the bigger number. The crocodile eats the bigger number. Well, that does us no good if I'm trying to actually read an answer. Like something like this, I need to know how to actually say that. X is what? 4. So it is super important that you are like masters of all of this up here and that you know and have those memorized. Less than makes an L. Greater than goes in the other direction and opens in the other direction. Okay, super important. Keep referring to these as you go through the lesson today. Okay, look at your paper and say, oh, is it open or closed? How do I draw the symbol? Let's go on to number 1, okay? All right, so I got to solve this. And I got to do y needs to be alone. Okay, how do I get the y alone? No, someone new. Yeah. Subtract 7 both sides. Go ahead and do it. Okay. 5 minus 7 is what? Keep the symbol how it looks. And then I just have a y on my right-hand side. I really don't like the way this looks. The reason that I don't like the way this looks is because my y is not on the correct side. It needs to be flipped. So, before we flip it, there's something we need to talk about. Just like, our teacher said back in elementary school, please notice that right now the alligator is eating the -2. Right? If I'm going to flip the inequality and I'm going to put a y here and a -2 there, so do that please. Put the y on the left. Put the -2 on the right. You really need to make sure that your alligator is still eating the -2 when you flip it. Okay? So if you need to flip it so that the variable is on the left, the variable needs to be on the left. You got to make sure that your opening, your alligator, is still eating the same number in the same direction, okay? Now let's make a number line. Let's graph this. All right, referring back to our how to graph section. Is this going to be an open circle or a closed circle?
A closed.
Closed. So make a 0 and make a -2. Closed. It says less than because it makes an L, right? Does that go, which direction is less than? Left, right? So make sure that your arrow goes to the left, to the left. And we're done. Close circle at -2, going to the left. All right, next problem. Okay, I want x alone. What happens to the -5? Divide it. So you're going to divide both sides by the -5 and ding, 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 ding. The reason I do that is because that means you do something special. So put this next to number 2 somewhere. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you switch the inequality. The direction of the inequality needs to move in the opposite direction. So you're completely changing it. You're making now your x has to switch to greater than or equal to. So you have to make that flip. Because I'm divided by a negative number, I divided by -5, now it becomes a greater than symbol. Why? Because if I divide by a negative, it's completely going to change my answer, whether my answer is positive or negative, and that means that all on my number line, my answers are going to be in the opposite direction, on the opposite side of 0. And if I don't switch them, and if I don't switch the inequality, then my answer and my shading will all be wrong. I won't be able to plug in my answer of 5 back in properly and it be a true statement. So here's what I mean. Let's graph it first, the proper way. You've got to make your 0. You've got to make your 5. Is it an open circle or closed circle? Closed circle at 5, make it. Does it say greater than or less than? You guys tell me. Does it make an L? Does my black inequality make an L? No, so it's greater than. Greater, to the right, more, higher, larger. If I didn't flip my inequality and make it a greater than, then I would have graphed that x is less than 5. But if I picked a number less than 5, like 2, 5, let's pretend that my number that I picked was 2, right here, right? This is going to be wrong. So let me tell you now, it's going to be wrong. If I picked 2, because let's say I forgot to flip my inequality, then when I plug my answer of 2 in, it's not going to be less than -25. Okay, no, -10 is not less than -25. So you have to remember to flip your inequalities. If you don't flip your inequalities, then your answer will be wrong. Your shading will be wrong. And when you plug it back into your original equation, it won't work. You won't get a true statement. Like here, this wrong part, this is all because I forgot to flip the inequality. So make sure that you flip the inequality. Let's go to number 3. Ooh, fun times, right? Fraction, yeah. All right. How do I get the x alone? I want to get rid of -2/7. What is the proper way to get rid of a negative? Yes.
Clear the fraction.
Okay. I want to actually do something else besides clearing the fraction.
Find the common denominator.
That would be the clearing the fraction technique, finding the common denominator. Multiply by the reciprocal. The reason that I want to multiply by the reciprocal here is because I don't have a long equation with a lot of different things. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 2/7. Reciprocal means you flip the fraction. Multiply by 7/2 on both sides. Bring the negative sign with it. All right, so I can cancel out my 7s on the left, and I can cancel out my 2s on the left. They all become 1s. And look, negative times a negative becomes a positive x. Hey, do you guys want to like put a 1 there? Do you like the 1? Yes or no? Want me to put a 1? No, you don't like it? Okay. Just x. All right. But now my other side. Ooh, I multiplied by negative 7/2. I multiplied by negative. Ding, ding, ding. What happens? The inequality flips. Perfect. Now, 4/21 times negative 7/2. Some people like to cross cancel. Let's pretend that we didn't like doing that. Let's pretend that we don't really know how to cross cancel and how to simplify. And we're just going to multiply straight across. 4 times negative 7. What is it?
Negative 28.
Denominator, 21 times 2. 42. So when you get this number, you're still going to have to reduce. What number can you think of that goes into 28 and 42? 7. Okay, cool. Reduce. How many times is 7 going to 28? What?
4.
4. And by the way, it's a negative 28 and a positive 7, so it'll be negative 4. How many times does 7 go into 42? 6 times. Okay. Oh, 7 wasn't the best choice. Because look, guys, it can't reduce. It still can reduce. I could have picked 14. Okay. So I have to divide again by 2. Negative 2/3. Okay. Graphing 2/3 though. My goodness. I make a 0. What number could I write so that 2/3 would be like a good, like so that I would know where to put 2/3? What other number could I make on my number line? Yeah?
1. Oh, negative 1.
Negative 1. Love it. Okay. So here we go. Negative 2/3. It's a negative, but it's really closer to negative 1. Should this be an open circle or a closed circle though? Open. Yep. And it says less than because it's in the direction of an L. Less. Left. Your shading needs to go to the left. Good. Let's move on. All right, number 4. How do I get rid of that 6? What?
Multiply by 6.
Multiply both sides by 6. You want to put 6/1? That would be smart because then you won't think that it's like 6 times 6 on the left. You'll remind yourself that, oh, look, it diagonally cancels. Negative 2 times 6.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. All right, at your tables, I want you to graph this on a number line and check your answer with your people. Go, go, go. Okay, so I make my 0 and I make my negative 12. Was it an open circle or closed circle? What? Look at the top of your paper to help you. Open, guys. This says greater than. Which direction is greater than? Greater, bigger, more, higher, to the right. Sweet. Backside has more involved equations. They're 2-step equations. So we need to do a little bit of work, not just one thing. So right here, what would be the first thing that I would do to get, ideally want the y alone at the end, right? So I got to hear from new people first of all. Add 3, BS. Okay, love it. And then, what? I divide by -4. Ding, 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 ding. Something happens. What happens? Inequality flips. Make it a less than. And it's actually -9 divided by -4 is going to be like a positive answer. But 9/4, that's an improper fraction. I can't graph like a 9/4. I'm not going to go over 9 spaces. How would I properly graph this? Like, what would I need to do? I've heard from. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Get it to a proper fraction.
What's the number? What's 9/4 become? 2 and 1/4. You are right. That is the number that I graph. Because I can't go 9 spaces. Improper fractions cannot be graphed the way they are. This is one of those times when, yes, I do want you to change it to a mixed number. 2 and 1/4 is in between 2 and 3. Make your number line. Always put your 0. Put your 2. Put your 3. 2 and 1/4 will be close to what number? 2. Oh, open circle or closed circle? What? Open. Okay. Is that a less than symbol or a greater than symbol? Less than. Less. Left. Shading to the left. And 2 is not included in my answer because it's an open circle. But -1 is. 1, +1 is. 0 is. But 3 is not. 2 is not. All right. Okay, first step on number 6. You guys are killing me. Hello, are you alive? Prove it. I need to hear your voices.
Okay.
Yeah.
You add 34 to both sides.
It's a positive 34 right now. I want it to cancel and make a 0. So I don't want to add 34 because then I'd have 68. If I have a positive,
Subtract?
yes, because look at the screen real quick. Positive 34 minus 34 made the 0. Cancels. Awesome. Do it to both sides. I just subtracted 34, guys. I didn't do any multiplying or dividing by a negative. So don't flip anything right now. What does 14 take away? 14 minus 34. Negative 20. The negatives win by how many? By 20. There's 20 still there. And now, divide by -3. Ding, 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 ding. Switch the inequality. Z. 20/3. That's not going to work for me for graphing. Change it, please. What is it? What does it become? 6 and what? 6 and 2/3. Make your 0. I really want you to make a 6 and I really want you to make a 7. Because I need to know exactly where you think 6 and 2/3 lies. Is it going to be an open circle or is it going to be a closed circle? Closed, right here. Like right there. 6 and 2/3, really small. Does my inequality say less than or greater than? Greater than. Greater, bigger, higher, more. To the right. Cool. Ooh, number 7. Do it with the people at your table. Okay, what is a -6x minus a 2x? -8x. Less than or equal to -16. And what do I do to solve for x? Divide by -8. Ding, ding. Divide by a negative. Ding, ding, ding. What happens? What happens? Flip the inequality. What is negative 16 divided by a negative 8? Positive 2. Wow, that line is really awful. Man. Okay, make your 0. Make your 2. Okay, greater than 2. Open circle or closed circle? Closed. And am I going to go to the right or to the left? What? You guys singing? Is that energy that's inside you right now? You're just like, no. You don't want me to know that you guys have a little bit of energy inside you right now? All right, it's okay. You can be cool high schoolers. You don't have to have any energy. All right. Everything looks perfect. Go to the right. Close circle. Last one. Bailey has $65 to spend at the mall. Okay, if your mom gives you $65, please listen to all 4 choices before making your selection. Do you have greater than $65 to spend? Do you have greater than or equal to $65 to spend? Do you have less than $65 to spend? Or do you have less than or equal to $65 to spend? Less than or equal to. So everybody write that. Less than or equal to 65. Bailey's lucky. She's buying things and she doesn't have to pay taxes. So nice. She's lucky. All right. She's going to buy a t-shirt. T-shirt for 18. She's going to buy belts. B for 14. And she also wants to buy jeans. We don't know how much the jeans cost. That's what it's asking. How much can she spend on the jeans? So let's put jeans here. So do you guys think that you could do 18 plus 14 in your head? Yeah. Okay. What is that? 32 plus her jeans. So she's already spent $32. She wants to buy jeans. She only has $65 she can spend. She can spend exactly $65. That would be okay. All right, what's my answer? What do I do? Oh, you guys lost your energy again. What? Subtract 32 from both sides. Jeans can be what? What cost can the jeans be? $33, but she cannot spend $34 on these jeans. Can she spend $32 on these jeans? Okay. Good. Awesome. Okay. So, take a look at the lower right corner for your homework. You have 2 different textbooks, 2 different pages in the textbook that we need to utilize. So let's get started.